Hello, my wonderful students. Today you have 3 objectives that you're going to be trying to master by the end of this video. Okay. The first objective is you're going to be able to define and identify dialogue. The second objective, you're going to be able to write using dialogue, so you're actually going to be able to put it into practice. And number 3, you're going to be able to use keyword searches to find newspaper articles, and that'll be on Google and will help you with your last assignment. Okay, so let's get started first. So, to define dialogue. Dialogue is whenever a character speaks that is not the narrator. Okay, so it is a character who is speaking who's not the narrator, and this is almost always going to be characters talking to each other. So they're going to be talking back and forth. This is where you have quotes surrounding what they say. Then it has like he said, or he asked, or he responded at the end of it. Okay. So here's our example that I just did really quickly for you that go along with your notes. So you have, and you should already have the definition down. If you don't, start back a few seconds and write down the definition. So here's our example. So, Ponyboy, I'm worried about Dally, said Johnny. Why do you say that? He seems okay to me, Ponyboy replied. I don't know, he just seems so distant lately, said Johnny. Okay, so this is dialogue. This is a conversation where you have quotes surrounding what you have and somebody besides the narrator speaking. Okay, so this will eventually be the assignment that you do, creating a conversation just like I did between 2 characters from The Outsiders. Okay. Why do authors use dialogue? Authors use dialogue in order to make it more interesting for the reader. When it's a story, of course you use dialogue because you want characters talking to each other, but you also use it when you have nonfiction. If you don't, it's just a list of facts and it's really kind of tedious and boring to read. But if you do include dialogue, then it makes it a little bit more personal. It includes kind of more characters into it, more people's perspectives, and makes it more interesting for you to read. Okay. So you should have our first objective mastered. Our second objective is you're going to be able to write using dialogue. So hopefully after hearing this, you're going to be able to do this activity where you write your own dialogue down below. And our third objective is be able to use keyword searches to find newspaper articles, and this is going to be on Google. Okay, let me show you how you're going to do that. You're going to go in and you're going to go to Google, type in google.com, and you're going to type in a search. So let's say, for example, I'm trying to find out about a fire that happened in St. Louis at a church, right? Kind of like in The Outsiders, we had the church fire. So I'm going to type in some keywords. I'll say church fire, St. Louis. Okay, now the key part to this, you all know how to do that. The key part for this is you're going to click right here where it says news. And it's going to come up with a bunch of different articles. Okay, you're going to kind of scroll through and see which one seems most interesting. So to me, I'm going to revise this because it seems like there's no church fires. I'm just going to say fire St. Louis, and now there's a lot more that comes up. So this one looks pretty good. Man sets St. Louis apartment house on fire over unpaid debt. So I'm going to click this, and now I have an article to be using. So here's the title, here's where it happens, and then here's the actual story that goes along with it. Okay, so use the text features to help you get the main idea of that, but this is how you find it. In this article, there is no dialogue, and you can tell that it's not a very good article just by how short it is. Let's see if I can find you some dialogue in a different article. So let's click just the first one, see what St. Louis Today has. Okay, so here we have some dialogue. It'll load. a 14-year-old boy with a gun, I think really goes to the conversation about the epidemic of violence that we have in our community, Dotson told reporters. So see how this is now a person that they're interviewing that is talking. That makes it more interesting, makes it more personal. This is what you're going to strive for in your nonfiction articles when you write them about the Outsiders pieces. Okay? Hopefully that helped you. Hopefully that answers some questions. Your final activity, you're going to have to be doing this where you type in different searches in the news bar and answering some questions about it. Okay? If you need any more help, rewatch the video. All the questions should be answered within there. Okay? Good luck, guys.